Hello friends. Before we dig into today's very important video topic, I have just a little note for you. My channel is inching ever so slowly near the 900 subscriber mark, which means that 1,000 subscribers is not outside of my reach. And friends, I want those 1,000 subscribers, but I need you to help me out. I need you to like this video. I need you to subscribe if you have not already. I need you to click that silly little bell. It is very important that you click the silly little bell. And I need you to share my channel with your friends. Share this video or share your favorite video that you have so far watched on this channel, because friends, I can feel it. 1,000 is on the horizon, and I know that I need your help to get there, but I'm not going to put all of the burden on you. I know that the subject matter of my channel is very important. I need to give the people what they want if I am to expect that they will watch said content. And friends, I think I have figured it out. After countless hours of very serious internet research, I have learned what the internet wants. The internet, among many things, likes three things in particular. The internet likes distinctive hairstyles. The internet also likes cute animals, and the internet likes tier lists. So today, friends, I am going to combine all three of these internet topics into one super internet video. For today, we are ranking racing camel haircuts. And if you're one of those people who thinks that camels are not a cute animal, first of all, how dare you? And second of all, you are just factually incorrect. Let me, if you will, just prove it to you real quick, just to cover all of our bases. Let's search cute camel. Okay, right off the bat, look at this little munchkin. Look at him. Or her, I don't know, or them. Look at this absolute cutie pie of a camel. Look at that smile, those eyes. That right there is a living ooh. And you cannot prove otherwise. Look at how cute this guy is. That is a face that absolutely everybody can love. And this one's just a mood. So now that we have definitively proven that camels are indeed cute, now let me introduce you to the wonderful world of racing camel haircuts. If you are not familiar with this phenomenon, camel racing is a thing. And some have said camel racers give their camels just elaborate works of art engraved into their fur. And friends, I have been sent a whole file of camel haircuts. And together, we are going to rank them in this handy-dandy little tier list. The tiers start at S and go through F. S, of course, being for supreme camel haircuts. Only the best of the best are going to get into that S level today, friends. So, I have not seen these particular camels. I've seen camel haircuts. I am a fan. But this is going to be the first time on camera that I am going to be seeing these particular camel pictures today. So, thank you for being on this journey with me. Do all those things, because I'm clearly pulling my weight here. This is what the internet has been asking for all along. So, make sure you do your half of things by You know the drill. On to the first camel. Oh, my. This is magnificent. magnificent. Look at this beauty. So first of all, I love that we're actually seeing the artist at work here. This is not just a picture of the camel. This is the artist at work. And from one hair artist to another, mad respect, mad. Oh, and she's got a hat. I've got a hat. Kindred spirits, she and I. Now, let's just examine the beauty of this camel. Not only is this a riding camel, but this riding camel has a picture of someone riding a camel on the camel. This is some camelception right here. And camel is not the only animal in this fine camel's haircut. I see effluence. I see a bird. Perhaps it looks like a dove extending an olive branch. So we have the concept of peace. We have just a gorgeous pattern all around. Look at these beautiful triangles. We have some geometric patterns going on this camel's rump. We have a lion. Look at this. I can't quite tell what is under the lion. It almost looks like a frog wearing a fez. That's what I see. Let me know what you see. Do you also see a frog wearing a fez? We have to get to the bottom of what this creature is under said lion. And is the lion playing with a ball or a wheel of sorts? There is too much brilliance in this one camel. I feel the need to immediately, right off the bat, put this camel in the S tier, because this is a supreme camel haircut. I don't know how that's gonna bode for the rest of the tier list. I told myself I wasn't going to put the very first camel, but look at that. This camel has a wonderful extra little tuft of hair. I understand that the picture is obscuring the absolute top a little bit, but if you look right up at this camel's hump, the hair is still just like a little mohawk just atop this absolute masterpiece of a camel haircut. This has got to go in S tier. It's going to be perhaps very difficult for me to not put all of these camels in S tier. I will try my very best, because we need to be objective. The internet has entrusted me with making the definitive ranking of racing camel haircuts, and I cannot let the internet down. So I feel justified in putting this camel right at the top, right off the bat. So onward to the second camel. Oh, well, what have we here? It seems there is some coloration going on here. This is a very, very blonde camel, a very, very fair camel. We have some more geometric patterns, but then we have these patches. Did they dye these patches of camel fur? I am aware that you can dye camel fur, although I don't think I've ever seen camel hair still on the camel that has been dyed, but I suppose it happened. I've seen people dye their poodles. Why not dye your camels? This is nice. This is a beautiful geometric pattern. I'm very much getting like undercut vibes, geometric patterns. A human would absolutely put this on the back of their neck, hidden under the rest of their hair. I have no doubt about that. But is this magnificent for a racing camel haircut standard? I would argue it's not quite good enough. I would argue that we just saw brilliance. And this, good, surely. But is it a superior camel haircut? Nay, I think not. I think not. I don't even know if it's good enough to be an A or B. Goodness, this is very difficult. I may need to do some rearranging at the end just to make sure that we lock it all in exactly where it needs to be, but I'm almost inclined to go down, 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 down. It's not bad, so I don't want to put it as a failed camel haircut. Perhaps we put it at E tier for now. We'll readjust as necessary, but I will say E is for everything about this could be better. And now I say is a great time for a camel hair fact. According to Victorian era resources on how to make hair art, specifically palette work, one of the necessary tools is a camel hair pencil, which is a type of brush, paintbrush, ink brush, that is stiff and pointed at the ends like these. What's crazy about camel hair brushes is that they are actually not made out of camel hair. Camel hair is not suitable for making this kind of brush. It will just not behave the way you want it to behave. So these are normally made out of squirrel hair, no less. And what's even crazier about these pencils in particular is that I did not order them. I did not purchase them. They just showed up at my house one day, addressed to me from nobody. What is this? Is it a sponsorship? Is it some kind of friendly brush gnome who is just bestowing gifts upon me? I mean, I guess it worked. I sometimes use these not camel hair brushes in my hair art. Well, I guess I did use one to try to nurse an injured baby mouse once, but the rest of them are for hair art. Back to the camels. Wow, this is a gorgeous camel. Look, this camel has a bow on his nose as if it is a gift. And truly, this camel is a gift to the world. Now, I'm seeing some lovely geometric patterns. I'm seeing some animals, although the last camel that had animals cut into their hair was a camel on the camel. This one has a person riding a horse. And I just have to wonder, is that an insult to riding camels? To put another riding animal on them? Is this inherently insulting the camel? Perhaps suggesting that the rider of this camel would rather be riding a horse? It's beautiful work. This is a gorgeous haircut. Look at all of this fine detail. Although, truly, I can't get over the fact that there is someone riding a horse on this riding camel. I don't know how I feel about that. So I on that alone, this camel does not get to be in S tier. I'm inclined to put it at A. We'll put it at A for now, where we will say almost there. Almost a superior camel haircut. Had this been another riding camel, would it be an A tier though? See, that I don't know. When you compare the two, clearly the first riding camel was the superior camel. Maybe we need to put it down a little further. B tier for blatantly insulting the camel. Next camel. Oh, look at this. Look at this. So this camel, I don't know if this camel is unfinished or if they're only intentionally doing the top half of this camel. Because see, we have the whole belly region, the tops of the legs are all completely untouched, but we have these lovely geometric patterns on the top. We have this lovely, it's almost giving me rose window Notre Dame vibes, although clearly not quite as detailed. This camel. It is almost reminding me, with these two large square patches, it's almost reminding me of the last camel that we put in E tier, although they didn't go through the extra time and care that it takes to do some color changes, to do some dyeing of the camel hair. So is it going to be on par with the other one in E tier? That I don't know. I don't think this is worthy of an F. I don't think this is a failed camel haircut. I think it's quite similar to the other one that we have in E tier. So that's where we're going to put that camel for now. On to camel 5. Oh, look at this lovely. We have some layers here. So we also have an elephant, and we also have a person riding a horse. What is with these camel riders saying, you know what this riding camel needs? A riding horse. I don't know what is with that. We have a lovely, so I'm seeing some definite themes that are running throughout these camels. We're seeing these geometric triangular strips, and this is very much like the last camel that we had, although he had one higher up on his hump. This is a bit of a different art style when you look at the animals. When you look at the horse and the ephant, and I don't know, that is a bird of some kind. I do not know what kind of bird this is, but I know what birds look like, and that is a bird. I'm inclined to put it up a little bit because of the fact that this is a different art style in the animals than I've seen before. So it's got bonus points for being unique. So I would like to put, See, but when I compare it to the other camels, where, pray, does this camel go? The internet did not warn me how difficult it was to actually make a tier list. To be objective and to make sure everything gets in the right place. This is a lot of pressure, but I'm determined not to let the internet down. For now, we are going to put you in A tier. A for almost a superior camel haircut. I feel you get some bonus points for the unique art style. Now on to the next camel. Oh, so here we have more going on. We have a word, Camel Festival. These are the first English words that I've seen shaved into a camel. We have a fellow with, is that a mustache? Is he grabbing his own hair and going like this? I think he is. I can't tell where this hair is originating from, if it's a mustache or a beard or if it's just hair coming from the back of his neck, but this fellow is holding his hair up like this and going, Camel Festival! That's quite excellent. I do like that. And we have some creatures here. What kind of creatures are you? I cannot quite put my finger on it. Somewhat rodent-like, perhaps marsupial-ish. And we've got some, this is very, very geometric creatures on top there. We have a palace. If you look at the lower corner, that is a palace. This, I feel like this is a prime example of a camel who was done dirty by the angle of the photograph, because I can see Right in that corner, there is a full-on palace carved into this camel. We have a camel festival fellow extending his long locks to the heavens. And this is most magnificent. I feel as though this picture does not do this camel's hair justice. I would like to see more photos of this camel in particular. I am quite excited by this camel. I almost think that an adjustment in the system is to be made. I feel, oof. The fellow with his hair, with the camel festival. I really cannot, it's too good. I'm sorry, this camel is also S tier. This is a superior camel haircut. The photo is only the beginning. This camel has layers. I'm sure the longer you stare at this, the more you find. Such is the beauty of camel haircuts. Camel hair fact! Even though camel hair brushes are not actually made with camel hair, that doesn't mean it has never been done. Early ink brushes, we're talking roughly 400s to 200s BCE, may have been made, or at least experimented with, camel hair. According to legend, the inventor of this very famous ink brush, the very first ink brush that ever brushed ink, was none other than Meng Tian, who was a famous Qin dynasty general who famously oversaw the construction of the Great Wall of China. Is it possible that one man could have done so much? No, this is almost certainly not true, but that does not stop the legend from persisting, and the general is regularly honored at the Huzhu Ink Brush Festival. I'm gonna go ahead right now and apologize for any mispronunciations. I really should have looked up pronunciations before starting this video. On to the next camel. Oh, this is a tail. This camel does not have braided hair, but it seems as though someone has shaved the hair in a manner with which to suggest that this camel's tail is a braid. Look at that. Look at that. I love it. It is so simple, and yet it speaks so many volumes. It's beautiful, really. And clearly this camel also has layers. If you look, there are some geometric patterns on the rump and the legs, but really this is all I need to see. This is bonus points for creativity right there. I'm quite fond of it. I'm making an executive decision. I'm moving some camels down to make way for the pseudo-braided camel tail. I think this B tier camel must go down to C. C for camel. And we must move you down to the B tier to make way for the braided camel tail. This one must be A, purely because I cannot see the rest of the camel, but this tail is creative enough that it does deserve high regard. On to the next camel. That is pleasing to look at. I'm not going to lie, that is very pleasing to look at. However, it's not especially creative. It's not especially creative. I feel as though this is a pattern that we have seen before on camels, although along with this pattern normally comes more artistic liberties, more animals, more words, more hair. So this camel, it's lovely. It really is. I don't want to feel like I'm insulting these camels. Much like the riding horses being shaved into the riding camels, I don't want to insult the camels, but this is my sworn duty to uphold the official camel hair tier list, and I must be honest, I think this camel must go to D tier. D tier for doesn't impress me. On to the next camel. Oh my. Oh my. This is a very blonde camel. A very blonde camel. Although it seems as though we have some more dyed camel hair this time. They have dyed the pattern with which to make it pop even more. This camel, look at that camel's tail. This camel's tail is trying to be what the last camel's tail was, but is not quite hitting the mark. It's not quite doing it for me. And it appears as though if you look at the side of this camel, we still have the triangle theme, but they are just not the same size. Oh, I'm sorry, camel. I'm going to have to be quite harsh on you. This is a failed camel haircut. I truly went into this video thinking that I would not have the heart to put any camel in the F tier. But this is the one, if ever there is a camel to be an F tier. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, camel. But I must take this job seriously. I must speak the truth. And that is a failed camel haircut. On to the next camel. Oh. Why, this camel has red hair. Never in my life have I seen a red-haired camel. I do very much like the red in contrast with the blonde tan camel. I almost like this more than the camel who had the dark brown, almost black dyed square patches. So this is definitely a theme. This is another motif with these two squares on either side of the hump. Although this one, I must give bonus points for the red. We have seen now at least 2 camels who have had darker hair dye, just the dark brown, the black. This is the first red-humped camel. This is the first red-humped camel, and that deserves all of our respect. We must put this camel. I feel as though if they had dyed this just a dark brunette instead of a red, I fear this is E tier category, but I'm gonna give this camel a bit of a boost. You are going into D tier alongside the other camel that had a very nice haircut, just not one that was especially creative. We have to throw in bonus points for creativity, so your red hair has transcended the E tier. On to the next camel. Wow, look what we have here. We have swirls and swoops, and we have a person riding a camel again. A person riding a camel. We have a carnivorous cat, a cougar, a jaguar, perhaps, with a bunny rabbit beneath. And we have the waves, the swirls, the swoops, we have the triangles, we have the other animals, we have someone riding a camel. So this is really everything that we want in a camel haircut. It's got a little bit of everything. Although there is just something about it, it does not quite excite me in my core as much as some of the other camel haircuts have. You are still in the top half of the list, surely, but I don't have the same excitement of the S tier. I still don't quite have the same excitement as the shaved, braided camel tail. I think you are solidly B. Right there. You're doing very well. You are doing very well. Just not quite cutting it to get the very top rank. Camel hair fact! Camels can produce about 5 pounds of hair a year. That's a lot of hair. Onward to, oh, this camel is posing for us. This camel is a model. This camel has a fabulous haircut and he knows it. See, they've dressed their camel a bit. We do have the lovely geometric, beautiful patterns, but we have some pom-poms, some poof balls, some koosh balls. We have a lovely little harness. Where to put you? I love the pose. If we were just ranking the personality and the essence of the camel, this camel would be S tier all the way. Look at that face. But alas, we are ranking the haircuts. And it seems as though much of the haircut is obscured by clothing. The beclothed camel. So, we must put you lower, I fear. I fear we must put you lower. Are you D tier, though? No, I'm sorry. I must be objective. We must put this camel in E tier. I wanted so dearly to put this camel higher, perhaps D tier, maybe even C, just because look at that pose, look at that face! But no, the haircut alone, I cannot let it slide that they've covered up most of it, and that what we're seeing is it's expected at this point. You've seen enough camel haircuts by this point already. We've been through, what, at least 10 of them now, I think. This is what you expect. It doesn't challenge our expectations. It doesn't excite us viscerally. So I'm sorry, camel, you are E tier. On to the next camel. I cannot read that word. If you can read that word, please comment and tell me what it says. Because I cannot read that word. I'm not even going to try. I will offend someone with an inaccurate pronunciation. Again, we have a riding horse. A riding horse. And yet, this is a bit of a downward angle, so I'm not getting the full view, but I feel as though all of these themes have been done before. We've seen these before. We've seen the horse. Yes. So, where to put you?
But where to put you? But where to put you?
I put the last camel with a racing horse in B tier, I believe. I think I like this camel even less. The haircut, that is. This is nothing personal against the camels themselves. I want to make that absolutely clear. Perhaps, if I could read this word, I don't know if it's a word or a name, I'm sorry. Perhaps if I could read it, it would make more sense to me. Perhaps it would elevate my opinion of this haircut, but alas, I cannot. And I've seen these themes before, and I think I've seen them done even better. So we are going to put you in C. You are a C tier camel. Camel hair facts. Like most furry animals, camels have 2 layers of hair with different textures that are good for crafting different things. The coarser outer layer is good for felting, while the fine inner layer is better for spinning and weaving, and once processed, the camel hair can be used to make all manner of clothing or other practical fiber goods. On to the next camel. We have 2 more camels, and then we will lock in our final decisions. Oh my. Look what we have here. This camel. Why, we have seen this camel before. We have seen this camel before. It is a magnificent camel, but we've seen even more now. This is the camel, I believe, that we just saw. Here's the faint outline of that word. We have the bow on the nose as if a gift. This camel, look at that camel's cheek. That camel has a cheek shave. And that is to be respected. Respect the cheek shave. Absolutely, that is a beautiful camel. Now that I am seeing the full picture, and not just the hump, I must put this camel higher. I simply must. It's that full picture. We're looking at the legs even. Not the full legs, but just the very tip of the leg. The camel's got a bit of an armband, which is quite excellent. This is a magnificent camel. We must put this camel. Do we put you in B tier? Yes, I think we have definitely seen this camel before, but this by far, this is the picture that shows us everything, and everything coming all at once. We're putting that at B tier. Yep, that is a B tier camel. Maybe even, is this camel worthy of A tier? I do not know. We'll keep you at B for now, and then we'll lock in our final verdict after we see our last camel. Aha, look here. Simple, geometric. Do I see a hint of red hair dye right near the top? I think I do. Not as much red as the last one, though. Although I'm going to put you next to the other camel with the red hair for now. It is cute. It is more simple than some of the other camels we've seen. But my, that is where we must put you for now. Final decisions. Let's make sure. I still think our very first camel was the best camel. I am still holding to that S tier rank for that camel. This camel, after seeing some of what we've seen, I almost think I need to put that camel lower. I'm sorry. It's not doing it for me. This is, in fact, actually a failed camel haircut. We've seen dyed panels of camel hair, panels of camel hair that were much more effective than those. So I cannot forgive that. Ah, yes, here's our camel. So this is the camel we have seen. Lovely, lovely camel. The first time I thought it was highly disrespectful to have a riding horse on the riding camel. But this camel is in fact an A tier camel. I'm going to go ahead right now. We're just going to put these pictures right on top of each other because they are in fact the same camel. But I feel like this folder of camel pictures has just been taking me on a journey to truly appreciate the full picture of this camel in particular. It is a magnificent camel. I underestimated this camel at first, but now I have true full appreciation. That is an A-list camel. A-list camel. Oh, we have the darker-haired camel. I think he is a good place for you. You are not a failed camel haircut. But you are not overly impressive either. Aha. Aha, this very blonde camel with the very interesting animals, the different art style, the unexpected art style. You are still B. You are still B in my eyes. I think you are exactly where you need to be. I still can't get over that mustache. A-list camel. Absolutely. Still A-list. Look at that tail. Look at that tail! Yeah. I can't get over this one. When you put this one next to the other camels, it's so bad that it's cute. You know, I have such a fondness for this camel. I love you, camel, I love you so much. I can't raise your tear, I can't do that. It's out of my hands, but I love you. Red-haired camel. You know, now that I'm looking at you again, now that I have demoted the first camel with dyed squares, I feel like I need to demote you a little bit too, just a little bit, because it's not even a perfect eye job. Some of these dots around the triangles are not perfect, so I'm sorry. You're moving down to E. Aha, Z's camel. Still at B tier, I think. I think. Now, we may be looking at a different story. I don't know the story of this camel. Perhaps it is an unfinished camel, but I feel like there's a lot of space to work with here still. There's a lot of empty space that I think could be utilized better, so B is a good place for you, I think. I still like this guy. I'm sorry, I don't think I can move you up, but I love you. I love your camel face! And this one. I want to compare with the other of you in D list because I feel like we must have a C tier camel. We can't just have that emptiness right at the bottom. Okay, hear me out. Tell me if you agree. This camel is, in fact, worthy of C list because of all of the very blonde, very light camels that we've seen today, this one has the pattern that stands out the most. And that alone seems as though it may be tricky to do. Plus, I'm sure if we saw the rest of this camel, we would see not only a lovely strip of red at the mohawk of the hump, if you will, but also darker brown on top of that. So we have many layers. This is a punk camel with a very nice geometric cut. And I'm satisfied with that. So friends, I give you the definitive camel tier list. Let me know in the comments if you agree with me. Which was your favorite camel? Which was your least favorite camel? Is my list perfect? What would you change? This was, of course, my first tier list. So let me know how I did. And on that note, I would like to give a huge thank you to my supporters on Patreon. You guys are all very, very amazing. And I would like to give an extra special thanks to Nuri, who has been a patron of mine for a very long time and a very good friend of mine as well. She is the one who compiled these magnificent camel photos for me, and she is an academic weirdo, a kindred spirit like I. So please go to the comments to check for links to where you can find Nuri and learn about the scent of death and the history of smells and many magnificent, magnificent things. Let me end with just a couple of quick personal camel stories. Once upon a time, I used to work as a zookeeper, and we at one point started Shetland pony rides for the kids in the children's zoo, and those ponies were mean. Mean ponies. They were the cruelest creatures in the entire zoo. We had a cheetah who was more tame than these egregious ponies. So after 1 year, we did away with the pony rides and we replaced them with camel rides, which went over much better because those camels were very nice and sweet. So befriend a camel, I recommend it. Ride a camel, cut a magnificent hair, cut into said camel. I have not personally made any artwork with camel hair yet. So if you have any camel hair just lying around, send it to me. I have a P.O. box. Send me your camel hair and we'll see what I can come up with when it is not still attached to the camel. Second story about camels. I was 13, because I remember this because it was on my 13th birthday. When I was 13, a man once tried to purchase me for 100 camels. It didn't work.